Today we've come to what I think is a hidden gem in Singapore because not a lot of people usually come on this hike. At least I think that's the case. You see, today we've come to Bukit Timah Nature Reserve and they have a railway that goes all the way through this hike. It's recently been renovated, so I can't be too sure if it's going to be overly populated or whether this is no longer a hidden gem, but I think it is. So before we start off this day, we're actually going to go and get a coffee. Marika's a little bit sleepy because I kept her waiting this morning. Then yeah, we're going to head on this hike. I'm going to take you along with us. So let's go. Bukit Timah Railway can be traced back to the 1930s, where it was built on the Singapore-Johor Bahru main line. The station officially closed in 2011 and is now a retro-style cafe serving coffee, food, and most importantly, some great ABBA hits. We're all done with the cafe, but we can't go on the trail until we've tried one final thing. It's the yellow train. We're about 10 minutes into this walk from the railway station, and this is where we're going to be taking that detour onto the super secret, maybe not so secret railway track from the 1950s. So if you're looking for something a little bit more quiet with not as many people on the track, then Bukit Timah is a cool place to come. I mean, just look at this, it's absolutely amazing, isn't it? So they put up a little sign now telling you not to go into the canal. Just beyond this point over here, there's kind of like a little drop and there's like a river running along it. So I guess don't go in there. We're coming up to the first gap. So I'm gonna try some spidey senses. Here we go. So just like magic, it's actually starting to rain the moment that we step onto this trail, but it's not too terrible, because actually it goes undercover and then that's when the trail begins. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if that was anticlimactic or not, but the view in person just seems absolutely beautiful, by the way, and I recommend that you do it. So we got to the first part of the hike, which is a little bit difficult because we have to climb this log behind us, and last time we did that it didn't go all too well. And so this time I brought a 360 camera with me and I'm gonna put it in my mouth. I am the king of not learning my lesson, and one of those things is that we didn't actually bring any bug spray this time, and I'm being eaten alive. I would have thought that I'd learned my lesson from Bali, but turns out I'm not that smart. So as you can see, this is really off the beaten path, this trail, and it really is off the beaten path. I find it awesome that unlike at McRitchie Reservoir, that you really get a sense of adventure that you don't often find in other places in Singapore. And this is just where you can get muddy to the max. So far, the shoes are not that muddy. Let's do a check, Maruka. Yours are pretty good as well.
Yeah.
We're doing all right. We're coming up on a really murky little river. I don't even know if you'd call that a river, but I definitely wouldn't want to end up in there. It looks brown and dark. Let's have a look. What do you reckon to that? Hey? Looks like something out of Jurassic Park, I feel. There we go. We don't want to end up in that mess next to us. So if you're wondering what kind of difficulty level this trail is, I would say it's probably intermediate. It's not really, really tough, but it is probably quite tough if you're going to bring your kids or someone who's not used to the outdoors or anything like that. Me and Maruko was actually just saying that we think that maybe a little bit of work has been done along this trail, because there's a lot more places to put your feet than there were before. And that makes it a whole lot easier than it used to be. I don't know if you can call it hiking unless you grunt every 5 seconds of the walk or anything, anytime you step over anything, right? That's the rule. Or am I just getting old? I hate to admit it, but I think it's the second one. So the total length of this trail goes on for around about 2 kilometers, maybe just a little bit over. And when you get out on the other end, there's a really cool tunnel that I'm going to show you. What are we saying about those 360 shots, by the way? Do you think they're good? Do you want to see more of those in these videos? Let me know in the comments what you think of my stupid face doing 360 videos.
I miss you missing me like you used to, yeah, like you used to. I miss you kissing me like you used to, like only you do.
We have come to our next problem, which is trying to get down this ledge over here. Has always been a bit of a problem, but one of the things I think that's in our favor this time is that it's dried up. Last time we came here it was super wet, and the chances of falling in meant also being absolutely soaked, so I don't think that's going to happen this time.
But I can't let go, 'cause I'm still sleeping with.
Every now and then we see some shoes where people have lost their shoes to the elements. I don't want to be one of those people, but this is really muddy. One thing I haven't actually mentioned so far is that this whole trail so far, we're the only ones. Absolutely nobody. So, you know, still kind of a hidden gem, I feel. I really thought for a second that we might have to climb over onto this thing. It just doesn't look like an easy way up at all, but luck would have it, we can go straight. It's gonna require some ducking to get underneath all the branches. I don't know if it's just because I'm really tall and I need to duck a little bit further. Further? Further. Can't even speak today.
Kissing me like you used to, like only you do.
I don't know if you can hear this, that thunder in the background. That's not just added in to this video to make it look cool. It is life and death situation as to whether it's going to be chucking it down with rain or whether we're just going to get out here not wet, not covered in mud, not hit by thunder and lightning. You can't be hit by thunder, hit by lightning. I'm really hoping that actually we're going to be safe. I can hear some cars, so I feel like we might actually be coming to the end of this railway, but not the end of the hike. We are out of the railway, and this is the prize. The tunnel. The dark tunnel that your mum and dad would probably tell you not to go into, but we're gonna go into it anyway. Now, I don't know about you, but that was pretty awesome. You go through that dark tunnel and then straight out into more jungle. Feels a little bit like a fairy tale, don't you think? Once it's been raining a lot, usually you get like this kind of waterfall on these rocks behind us, but unfortunately we just get to see all the moss that's on them today instead. But if you want to see a natural waterfall in Singapore, then come on the Bukit Timah Railway track. It's not the best of waterfalls, but you know. So you can see there's another part of the waterfall here, and it comes down to this pool of water, but there is nothing running. It's really quite small, and maybe when there's a little bit more rain it'll pick up, but for now it's just a little bit empty. Am I making this look easy, or is this difficult? Am I just really out of shape and can't balance to save my life? I think it's that one. honestly. If you're living in Singapore, then maybe you could let me know. I've just got my foot soaked. Oh, super muddy here. What trail you like in Singapore? Is this one of the better ones, or do you have a favourite that's not McRitchie Reservoir? I know everybody will recommend that one because it's maybe one of the only ones they know. You can do it! I believe in you, girl! So if you have a look at this absolutely enormous leaf, I got a little story about this one. So that plant is known as elephant's ears, or the elephant's ears, and you can tell because it looks like a elephant's ear. But what you might not know is that this plant is very poisonous. Very poisonous. How do I know that, you might ask? Well, me and my buddy Justin were doing this last year, and we touched one of the leaves and we felt like this really tingling sensation, and then all of a sudden we started to get sharp pins in our hands. So what did we do? We decided to put some water on it, maybe wash our hands, and it turns out that adding water to those elephant's ears once you've touched it actually makes it worse because it causes a chemical reaction that makes it terrible. So we ended up having the stinging and the burning for a couple of hours. So just a little word of warning and a lesson. Carl, this is a very informative video, isn't it? I get to do all the stupid things so you don't have to if you don't want to. Unless you like touching poisonous plants, then good for you. So we've made it to the end of the trail, and we've also made it to the end of this video. And if you've made it to the end of this video, then congratulations, thanks for sticking around. I do have some other videos if you want to check them out above my head floating around. And if you did like this video, why not think about subscribing? I make videos every week, or at least I try to. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.